Hey, everybody. Welcome to Clear Path Leadercast, the first Clear Path Leadercast of the year for 2022. Hopefully, well, for sure, 2021 is behind us. Hopefully, it finished on a strong note for you, for your business. We are moving forward into 2022, new plans, new focus. How are we going to help take our business to the next level in 2022? My name is Craig Anderson. I am the president of Clear Path Coaching and Consulting. The Clear Path Leadercast comes to you live every Thursday on both my Facebook, live, LinkedIn, and YouTube channels. 15 minutes where we provide you with 3 tips that will help you become the leader you want to be to help grow your business the way you would like to see it grow in the coming year. Be here every Thursday. As always, if you have any comments, drop them in the comments. Would love to hear from you. If you're catching this on replay, drop me a hashtag replay and let me know what your question is so I can come back in and answer anything you have. Very excited about the content I've got planned for you for this year. Really have been thinking about it, was thinking about it over the break, the 2-week break we took at the end of 2021. And I'm excited to bring you new content this year. I want to kick off the year with talking about something that I started a couple of years ago, which is this idea of having a word for the year. My word for the year 2 years ago was intentional, really helping me focus on being intentional about the things that I did and didn't do. Last year, it was about consistency, being consistent in how I was growing my business, serving my clients, doing social media like this, and had a really good year of consistency with week in, week out, especially here in the Clear Path Leadercast. You can catch all the old ones out on the YouTube channel if you'd like to check them out there. You probably have to dig a little harder to find them here on Facebook or LinkedIn, but they are there. But a lot of consistency last year. This year, though, having gone through all that and had a lot of good growth in my business, I thought about what are some of the things that I want to focus on this year, and went through a couple of different word for the year candidates and settled on simplify. Why simplify? Well, a lot of reasons, and I'm going to get into some of those reasons in today's Leadercast. Talk about the 3 areas and what you can do about them. Would love to know in the comments what your word for the year is going to be for this year. But for me, simplify is a really important concept. I've talked a lot in the past about the core values index. By the way, if you'd like to take it, clearpathcoaches.com/CVI will get you there for a free assessment where you can learn more about what the core value energies are that drive you. My core energy, my primary energy, is innovator. And for innovator, what that means is I like to think through a lot of ideas. And what happens is I think through a lot of ideas, I have a tendency to create ever more complicated frameworks because I want to cover a lot of contingencies and I want to make sure there's lots of different things covered. And that's just kind of my innovator. I want to process a lot of knowledge. I want to try and learn and pull through. And that's great for problem solving. It's not great when you're a solopreneur business owner who is growing their business and creating lots of complicated frameworks. So simplify is my word for the year this year. And I'm going to be working against my inner innovator and really helping to realize that sometimes I need to shift to other core energies. Most often builder is where I need to go, where it's about taking action and moving things forward. So that's really my word for the year. And that's the tension that's going to be in myself as I go through 2022. But I also want to talk to you today about the challenges that come with the opposite of simplification, which is complexity. And 3 things I want to cover today. 1, that complexity is expensive. Complexity is confusing. And complexity really makes you lose focus in what it is you're trying to do. So let's take the first one. Complexity is expensive. When you start building more and more complex processes, my background was in sales and sales management. And we had this tendency to want to create these really complicated sales incentive programs because we wanted to cover every contingency. And maybe just because my inner innovator, which I didn't have as much awareness of back then, was driving it. I didn't ever want to have any confusion. I didn't want to have any discussion. I wanted to make sure that every single thing was covered in that incentive plan. And it became really complex, really hard to manage. And it didn't really always achieve the goals that we wanted, but it was really expensive. The amount of time we would have to go in to create the tracking systems for that and to create the payout and all the people we had to pull in, it becomes very expensive. And when you create complex processes in your business that don't need to be complicated, you're creating expense. You're creating, there's a there's a product out there I know when I talk to some clients about they use for business planning, and it's so complicated. Many of them are hiring full-time people to manage the process. Do you really need a process that's so complicated for planning for your business that you need to hire people to manage it for you? That's just another expense that you're going to have to carry, and actually not necessarily a revenue generating expense. So when we create complex processes for simple solutions, really, we create a lot of expense in our business. So let's focus on reducing complexity in our business. Let's get focused this year on the things that matter. It helps grow your business. It helps keep things simple. It helps you pull people together, and it reduces your expense. And that leads into the next idea that I want to talk about, which is complexity is confusing. Going back to my example of my incentive plan that we created, try to, one, document it, and two, explain it to everybody was incredibly confusing. Nobody wants that much complexity. People, especially salespeople, like, tell me what to sell and tell me what you're going to pay me for it. All I want to know. And that's what we needed to do. And we would present this at the sales meeting, and we'd just get these confused stares. People are looking down at the document, looking up, lots of questions, lots of time. It was a disincentive plan in some ways because we made it too complicated. And things that get complicated look hard to achieve. They're confusing. And the team just isn't sure what it is they're supposed to do. Similarly, when we create really convoluted, complicated processes in our business, they're hard to communicate. And if we can't communicate it effectively, there is going to be confusion. And the problem with creating confusion around our business processes, our business vision, our goals for the business is we lose the team. And if we lose the team, they're not going to be able to operate effectively, sell effectively, manage effectively, whatever it is that we're asking them to do. So again, we want to reduce the complexity. Let's get really clear on what our vision is for the business. Let's get really clear on focused on a handful of goals that we're going to measure success against for the business. And let's get focused on the key projects that are going to make us money, help us grow the business, serve our clients better, make our employees' lives easier. That is reducing confusion in our business. Getting focused reduces confusion. Keeping it simple reduces confusion. So let's strive for that as we grow our businesses in 2022. And the last piece is complexity makes you as a leader lose focus. You want to stay relentlessly focused on the things that are going to grow your business. And when you start creating lots of new products that are kind of far afield from maybe your core product set because you think it's a good idea, or when you start creating these complex processes, you start losing focus on what it is you want to do for your business. And when you're not clear and you don't have focus on the key goals for the business, guess what? You're not sure what you're measuring. You're not sure how to answer questions for your team, and you can't give clear direction for your team on what it is that you want them to do. So we want to keep focused as leaders. When we're focused as leaders, our teams will be focused. When we can clearly communicate where we want the business to go, how we measure success, what our priorities are, those are the things that allow us as leaders to communicate effectively, staying focused. And when we create lots of complexity around the business, it just makes it too confusing. So simplify. How can you simplify your business for 2022? Get rid of the complexity that's adding to your expense. Get rid of the complexity that's confusing your team, and get rid of the complexity that's making you lose focus so you're not as effective and efficient as you want to be as a leader. Now, 2 opportunities here. Take that CVI assessment. Then let's schedule some time to talk about it. Or if you would like a head start on getting rid of the complexity and figuring out how you can simplify your business in 2022, let's talk. Hit me up. You can hit me through any of these platforms. Leave me a message. Reach out to me at Craig@clearpathcoaches.com. I would love to talk to you for 15 to 20 minutes about what your goals are for your business and what's getting in your way, and see what we can do about it. So, and please do drop in the comments here today. Let me know what your word for the year is. That's it. Thank you for joining me here on the Clear Path Leadercast. We are live every Thursday at noon to answer your questions about where you want to grow your business. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.